So, essentially, I just want to point out, this is what drives me crazy. You just said how you're ramping up code enforcement in rentals, and rentals has been such a hot topic, and obviously it's a major topic for me because it's my livelihood. And I agree with almost every ordinance you put out there, because I think we need help with our ordinances and with our rentals. But when somebody is sitting up there, doesn't understand, and not just to me, that is a huge problem, because I've come up here and made suggestions that nobody paid any attention to, about how to help the building department and code enforcement and rentals and real estate agents to work easier together and to make it a safer, better environment. And those suggestions went over your head because you knew better, but you don't even know what your own laws are. So to me, the fact that Caryn, again, I'm sorry, when she says she has a CO, one, you never even had a CO. Your landlord had a CO, so that you can rent your house. That's not having a CO. So the minute you started,
that was a rental CO.
Right. It was a rental CO for an annual, you as the tenant. Now, you guys passed an ordinance that we have to tell every person who's in, every tenant that comes across in a rental, you pass an ordinance that we're supposed to tell the town who those tenants are. She obviously didn't do that because that would have been a red flag and they would have said, you don't have a CO. She didn't go apply for a CO when she bought the house, because if she had, they would have said you can't rent an apartment in your basement.
I do have a CO.
It's not on the open request.
I definitely have it.
It's not on the open request.
It's there, like, it's in my clothing, I used to have it as a clothing.
No, that's a smoke certificate. That's a totally different thing. So you would have applied for a rental CO, and you would have been denied that rental CO because you can't rent a basement apartment in a one-family home. And that would have ended it. You would have never been able to rent your home. And you guys should all know that. You should all know that because you're sitting up there making the rules. So the fact that you don't know that disgusts me. And the fact that somebody in April, I have no idea who, but in April, somebody put in a complaint, a report of concern, that says there's an illegal basement apartment that's being rented through Airbnb. And that was sat there, that sat there from April 13th until July 7th. And so you just said, we're ramping up our code enforcement and we're trying to make sure that people aren't disobeying the code enforcement rules for rentals. And yet, someone sitting on the council had a complaint for 3 months that sat there. And you know what? She never got a violation, and she still to say doesn't have a violation. Again, I don't care. I don't want you to have violations. Water under the bridge. I feel like everybody should be able to do what you're doing. But since they can't, you shouldn't be able to.
But I said stop.
And no one's advocating for her to be able to.
In April, somebody put in a complaint. The complaint wasn't dealt with until July. How does that happen in a building department that's code enforcement? I would love to know who just ignored the complaint for 3 months. And you're sitting there not answering me and you're pissed at me, but like, are you kidding me?
Who do you expect to know every complaint? We get hundreds of complaints a month.
You just said, find the video and watch, when you just said to whoever that person was who came up there, that you are trying to encode.
I don't know every complaint.
I'm not saying you, I'm saying the building department. They have to, across the board, do the same thing and treat all the residents the same. Instead, we're favoring people. Well, to add
Who are we favoring?
You're favoring people who are on council who don't even have a violation to this day.
Who are we favoring?
Can I just?
We're not code enforcement.
I'm not saying you are, I'm saying the building department. Across the board, you should have things done the same way. Every resident should be treated the same.
There's complaints in the code department that have sat there for months on other issues.
How is that okay? How is that okay when then other clients of mine who get?
I understand how easy it is to stand up there and to throw the slings and arrows. I get that. You know, and you've served on committees and everything like that, and that's appreciated, Kim. But to expect us to know every single ordinance and every violation that the code department writes is simply unrealistic.
I expect you to know the ordinances that you put into play, that you take as a platform and make it a big deal. That code, the rental ordinance was such a big platform for you. I sat in this meeting, I watched people try to talk to you and explain things to you that you didn't want to hear. I took you to lunch to try to talk to you about it. You didn't want to hear it. And here we are, a year and a half, 2 years later, and you still don't even understand what the rules were that you passed then. and you have people sitting next to you who aren't.
I'm sorry that your expectation.
The rules that were from forever ago.
I'm sorry that
if you're
expectation.
gonna keep passing these ordinances that you don't understand and not enforce the simple ordinance of having a rental CO for a seasonal rental, why even bother? What's the point?
I still don't see your point in any way, shape, or form, I'm sorry.
Because you don't wanna hear it, because you're wrong and you're always right, so whatever.